gotta unmute myself. Hey. And I also want to just put it on gallery view for a moment to see folks and say hello. And some of you I haven't seen in a little while. Some of you I saw on Tuesday, and yeah, and some of you are kind of at least fresh-ish faces. So yeah, wonderful. So good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. I said this on Tuesday when I did the skills lab, but my heart just feels like happy seeing you. So just to give you a little bit of a framework, today is working with dreams to help heal trauma. Right. So that's what we're doing today. There's going to be, and it's nice to have a kind of an intimate class type experience. We're going to be doing different parts of the class, but one of the parts towards the end is there's an invitation to do a demo. So if somebody has a dream and knows that they want to work on it, or is willing to work on it or lend their dream to in the service of the community or the group, let Bethany know, and she'll just have you on hold, but that'll happen towards the end. So if anybody wants to, we can you can start thinking about that, as the session goes along. But yeah, so basically the framework today. Well, I'll put up my little slide and just show it to you. So this is working with dreams to help heal trauma. And for those of you who haven't seen my magic pen in a little while, I still use it, and I still have it, and I still love it. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about dreams, different approaches to dreams, how trauma vitality, which is one of the themes of the immersion, how those kind of interface. There's something like I think of dreams as like life trying to come through somehow. It's like knocking at the door, right? Something wants to come in, right? So, and then we're going to talk about embodied dream work and how to do embodied dream work, right? There'll be a demo, and we'll give you a little time to practice. So that's on tap for today. Let me just, before we dive in a little bit, let me just, oopsie, that's let's keep the, okay. Who all here remembers their dreams? I'm just curious. Okay, some people really, okay, some people do, some people don't. Some people, it's interesting. It's an interesting question because, okay, some people it's like, yes, my dreams are like blah, or some people's like, dream, I used to, or it's like, and it's an interesting thing. Like sometimes if you ask people, well, how do you feel in your body? It's like, oh, I feel my body all the time, right? And sometimes they say like, body, what, right? And one of the connections I want to kind of give to you is that they come from the same place, right? Like there's different ways that are like that world tries to knock on our door and enter in, and sometimes it's through the body. It's like, this pain or this tightness or this thing in my throat. Or sometimes it's in the stream. It's like, oh, that dream, that dream that it happened again. I don't know what it means, but it's there. It's something. There's something there. So there's something happening with that dream, and I don't get it, but it seems important, and I want to just keep listening to it in a certain way. Or this thing is happening in my body. It's like, yeah, I don't know why it keeps like coming up, like this tightness or this pain in my shoulder or whatever it is. It keeps like knocking on the door, keeps coming up, right? And so there's a way in which working with dreams and creating a space where the dream can start to kind of propel itself forward to complete, right? To do what it wants to do is almost like listening to the body, right? And almost soaking into the body, the felt sense, right? Leads to the felt shift. If you remember Okay, so if you listen to the body, kind of mind body practitioners, you listen to body, just kind of steep in the sensation of the body, right? It will guide you to what's next, right? And the same thing with dreams, right? If you listen to your dreams, if you just listen to them with that kind of open, kind of gentle attention, right? Boom, that's the dream. That's the dream. It's like, and you let yourself steep into it. Just like with the felt sense leading to a felt shift, a dream can unfurl into the next right action. Like with the body, it's like, oh, like there's that tightness. I don't know what to do with it. Listen to it. I listen to it and it starts to go, eh, eh, or it makes a sound or it makes a movement or it says, why don't you listen to me? I'm hurting. Oh, whoa, that was wild. It just started to tell me something. Or here's a dream. It keeps coming. I don't know what that dream is. Oh, let's start to listen to it. Oh, oh, I'm, I'm, I'm scared, right? Or it's like that person, whatever it is, that thing that's like scary. It's like, oh, that's my dad or my mom, whatever it might be. It's like, oh, that's what it is. Oh, and I want to kind of fight and say no or whatever, right? So it's this very similar process, a very similar process. Okay. So I had a little quote which is classic, at least in some of the I don't know, the circles we spin around in. Let me see if I can get it back up, and I just kind of invite us to listen to it and to hear it um, from the perspective of both um, kind of, because frequently it's thought of in terms of somatics or mind body stuff, but I think it could apply also uh, to um, to dreams. So let me just get it back up here. Sorry for the slight delay. Okay, here we go. All right, and you'll recognize it because I already showed it a little, but it's from Rumi. Okay, it's called The Guest House, and and just and I know you've probably, well, I imagine, well, let me ask, who all's heard this before? Okay, so some of you have, and maybe some of you, for some of you, it's new. Okay, so, but I want you to listen to it in the context of dreams, right? In the context of dreams this time, right? So let's just kind of notice. All right. So the guest house, the guest house. This being human is a guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Yeah. So just letting that poem kind of wash over you, the invitation of all these things that visit us, whether in the night, through our dreams, or kind of in our bodies. And I'm just going to invite you to sense into maybe the chat, um, kind of what is this, I don't know, this poem kind of evoke for you in terms of mind body therapy, somatics, and in terms of dream work? And maybe it's, I don't know if there's any thoughts or responses. What is it, anything that comes from sensing into that dream? What does it invite or invoke inside you? What's the feeling inside you just hearing that dream, the attitude that it encourages, right? Any ideas? Just messages from my soul. I love that, right? Messages from my soul. Yeah, beautiful, right? Messages from my soul. Wow. Yeah. Right. Acknowledge. Right. Acknowledge. Right. You know, a wanting or not wanting. Yeah, whatever it is, yes or no, all the polarities, right? Absolutely, Gene. There's a purpose for everything. Yes. The messages, these things that we think are just idiosyncratic, right? There's a purpose, right? There's a message, even. There's a purpose and a message. They're here for a reason, right? Yeah, and just the attitude of acknowledgement, and even one further, right? Acceptance, right? Like welcoming them in, right? That's the guest. Treat them, embracing them, even. Yeah, like acknowledge, accept. You can even think of that as a hierarchy. Like first you acknowledge, oh, here you are. Ah, I accept you, and now I embrace you, right? Yeah, and then gratitude. It's like instead of like, why are you here? It's like, ah, thank you for being here. Gratitude because you've given me gratitude. Uh, you've given me a message. There's a message. Maybe I didn't want to hear it, or there's a purpose I didn't know to see it, but you've shown it to me. An overarching mood, right? Sometimes there's kind of a purpose, a message, and sometimes there's a mood that kind of they come with. All is allowed, right? That goes with the embracing, right? Embrace, accept, acknowledge. All is welcome, you know, all is allowed. There's that quote, or, from IFS. It's like IFS says, all parts are welcome. All parts welcome, right? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I love this poem, but being also so laughing at violence or laughing at so laughing at violent sorrows, moving company. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, sometimes when a guest comes, you laugh, right? And Saibam for the win, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So feeling for folks who kind of remember all of that sensation, image, behavior, affect, and meaning, like all the different parts, right? Sometimes kind of the guest is a sensation, right? Ah, welcome sensation. Sometimes a guest is an image like a dream. Ah, welcome dream. Okay. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Beyond can be many things, the future, the higher self, the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Coming from beyond, right? Yeah, things that guide from beyond, right? That can be the body, right? That can be the soul, right? That can be, kind of the dream world. Absolutely. So, right, exactly. Right. Good point, Anne. Okay. My consciousness, my mind, my soul processing, making sense of all the levels. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Kind of the body, mind, soul, consciousness, right? Kind of yeah, all the parts, all the parts, all the parts. Exactly, Kimberly. Okay. Sometimes I wake up not remembering at all the dream, but just have something, the worst of feelings. Oh no. So nothing else to do other than just let it be and feel itself, feel it dispel itself over the course of the morning. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let it be. That's actually very, I know it's the Beatles song, but it's actually a profound kind of let it be kind of, and that's part of the acknowledgement, right? Acknowledge, accept, embrace, gratitude, right? That's, if that song had a therapeutic message, it's kind of like that, right? Let it be, acknowledge it, accept it, embrace it, and then maybe there's gratitude at the end. I would hire that moving company. That's funny. Okay, wholeness. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the kind of things that arises, right? Kind of sometimes dreams happen and we listen to them and something completes, we become whole again, right? Or the Cybam fragments come back, right? That's wholeness. Strangers bearing truths, right? Exactly. Messages from my soul. Strangers bearing truth. Yeah, bearing truth, right? Those are such poetic ways of describing it and how to attract it. How to attract people who read Rumi. Funny. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, kind of that. You can dream about that. I always dream about houses. Okay. Interesting. Houses. It's like, okay, what is that about? It's just to behold that curiously. A few spiritual teachers teach to focus the feeling instead of the details of the dream. This poem reminds me of the emotional context of dreams, right? Sometimes the mood is more important. Okay. The elephant in the room as seen by the blind men. Yeah. So all of these ways, messages from my soul, strangers bearing truth. It's the elephant, right? Kind of, because there is like in the dream, it's like, what's going on? There is that kind of like blind-ish feeling, or kind of like you don't see this whole thing, but it feels really important. And then, sometimes it's like, I get it. I see it finally, or something. Like there's a moment of boom. Okay. So all of that is right. Such deep, deep thoughts about dreams. Okay. So one of maybe the most famous person, uh, a large serpent. Wow, a large serpent following me up a manhole. I can see the movement of it glide up the ladder. Wow. Okay, that sounds kind of a vivid, alive dream. Sometimes um, our dreams feel not just like dreams, but they're whole sensory experiences, right? I don't know. Sometimes I've woken up from a dream. It's like, whoa, my body's trembling or shaking. It's like, whoa, kind of, there's something profound. Okay. And the person who's maybe most famous for, well, there's a couple people, like there's Freud and then there's Jung, right? So just kind of a little quote from Carl Jung, um, uh, and this is the idea that dreams are a way of communicating with the unconscious, or communicating and acquainting yourself with the unconscious. Okay, that it's, and whether you call it the soul, messages from strangers, right? You know, um, but what they do is they're not concealing our feelings from the waking mind. They're a window. They're a window into your unconscious. Just like the body is a window, right? These are different windows. And what a dream can do, it can guide the waking self to achieve wholeness. Somebody mentioned wholeness in the kind of thing before. They can help us achieve wholeness, and if we listen to them, they can offer a solution to a problem you're facing in your waking life. Okay, so so um, so let's see. Um, all right. So let's we'll do just a little, just a thought, and maybe we'll do this just by kind of, yeah. Who here has ever felt that a dream was trying to tell them something or send you an important message? Yeah, yeah. So I see some raised hands. Okay, okay. So it's like you're connecting with your dream world. Okay, totally. So yeah, and then have you been able to uh, uh, find a message, that you came away with? Sometimes, some people, yes. Okay, some people, okay, some people, yes. Okay, so there's some kind of people who have, and some people who are, okay, kind of like that's a little bit different. So for those of you who don't have as much contact, we're going to try and help kind of, okay, it's possible, and we're going to help try and make that a little bit more fluid, and it's a skill, kind of just like listening to your body is a skill. Like there's interoception. There should be a word for dreamoperception or something like that. There should be something like that, like kind of being able to sense inside your body or being able to sense inside your dreams. Nobody's invented one yet, but maybe the time we could do that. How do I learn that kind of sense or skill? Okay. Yeah. So now, just I don't want to overdo it on the quotes, but also just connecting Sigmund Freud as another person who talked about dreams. Um, it's interesting. Sometimes I think about, okay, who is the Sigmund Freud of our age? And I think it's, the closest is probably Bessel van der Kolk, right? At least like he's got the books that are the bestsellers, and Sigmund Freud had the books during the time that were the bestsellers. And during Sigmund Freud's time, it was like dreams. Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious, right? The study of dreams can be considered the most trustworthy method of investigating deep mental processes. Now, dreams occurring in traumatic neuroses have the characteristic of repeatedly bringing the patient back into the situation of the accident, a situation from which he wakes up in another fright. Okay, so basically he's saying dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. If you want to know what's going on in a person's life, it happens in the dreams. You could also say the dream world keeps the score. Just like nowadays, we hear Bessel van der Kolk say, the body keeps the score, right? So way back, in Sigmund Freud's time, well, it's not, 100 years ago or so, there was like, whoa, have you heard of this? Like dreams. That's like the dreams. Like, it's and we're coming in. It's a new era now because like dream people have kind of like got that, like dreams are it, but now it's like the body keeps the score. But it's good also to remember that dreams are kind of in a similar vein, right? Maybe, and another quote, maybe this is just even more ancient than Freud, right? This is from the Talmud. A dream which is not interpreted is like a letter which is not read, right? So dreams come. We get to choose whether to listen to them or not, to sit with them or not, to read the letter, the message they're trying to convey or not. Okay. Just like, the body, which we don't listen to, is like a letter that's not read, right? So there's a lot of similarities there. Okay. So, so a few little tips for folks if you're having trouble remembering your dreams. Sometimes, like, if you just invite a dream before you sleep, right? Sometimes people suggest having an intention to, okay, remember your dream upon waking. Sometimes they say, okay, put a glass of water by your bed and drink half of it, right? Just like one half of it, and then in the morning it'll be there, and just drink the other half, right? And that can kind of while you have the intention to remember the dream, and that can sometimes help you remember dreams. There's this moment before you wake up and come back to waking state that this is kind of, they call it like a liminal, like an in-between space, right? And so, just pause before you open your eyes and see if you can reach into the dream, right? Just let yourself linger a little bit before your eyes open, right? And because once your eyes are open and out, like kind of that can interfere with dream recall. So just, pause before your eyes come open. Some people do this, like they record their dreams with a phone nearby, or a watch if you have one of those watches, or a journal, right? And you can keep a notepad and pen by the bed, right? And the truth is, sometimes you don't think you can remember a dream, but just take a moment to see if there's any feeling, right? Or an image, or even an image fragment that you can describe. So you don't need a lot to get entry, right? It can just be like, oh yeah, there was a book, some kind of book, right? Or I don't know, like this up feeling. So just the act of listening can help kind of propagate it. Um, and the attitude of holding the dream is very much like um, the way you listen to the felt sense, with just this kind of delicate attitude of openness. There's this quote that I like from Jill Melnick, okay, just about the way to hold your dreams as they grace you, right? Dreams give your soul wings, right? Kind of dreams gives your soul wings. And images from the dreams are the exquisite patterns on the wings, right? So it's like your soul is flying in to find you, right? And what it uses is the dream world to come find you, right? And it gives you these images, and those are the patterns on your soul's wings, right? And there's a certain kind of delicacy that's required. Hold your dream as you would hold a butterfly in your open, quiet palms, right? Just like you don't want to disturb it, right? You just like be gentle with it. Make sure none of the delicate wing dust brushes off onto clumsy hands, right? Okay. Pinning the dream down with interpretation, like, oh, there's that dream. It means that, right? If we're too, I don't know, like wanting to like tell the dream, oh, this is what you mean, sometimes that tears the wings off the butterfly. These are really delicate, gentle things. They want to be listened to, not like objectified, right? It'll tear the wings off the butterfly and kill it, right? So hold your dream images gently enough so that they still can fly, right? They still can fly. Don't. So it's a strange thing, like sitting in that dream. It's like I, it's like balancing in this like soft space, right? This soft, receptive space of listening and allowing, right? Listening and allowing, not like, oh, dream, come here, let me analyze you with my, I don't know, my calculator, right? Or whatever that is. It's like, the dream's like, no, right? Just hold it with reverence and stillness. Okay. So um, just mention some different cultural, because there's Jung and Freud, but long before them, there were alternate, like dream work is ancient, right? Dream work is ancient. In ancient Egypt, there was this notion that the dream world exists between the land of the living, right? There's us in this world, and then there's what happens to people after they pass away. And the idea in ancient Egypt was that, okay, when we go into the dream world, we're halfway in between, right? We're in between kind of this world and that world. And we get to a glimpse into that. And Native American cultures, very similar. There's a sacredness to the dreams, right? It's like, I get to step outside mundane existence, just this world that we're in, and connect with a more universal consciousness. So there's similar themes, right? Of the sacredness, the deep quality of spirit or aliveness or universal consciousness in dreams. In Australian Aboriginal mythology, like who's the dreamer, right? Are we the dream, or is the dream, is the dream the real, right? So and there's a whole other plane of existence, right, called the dream time, just an actual real place, you know, that people could visit in their night dreams. And and from an African psychological perspective, right? There's an interesting idea here that sometimes in our world we think, oh, this is my dream. Like I had a dream; it was my dream. But in the African psychological perspective, your dream wasn't yours. It could sometimes be a dream that occurred through you on behalf of another in your community, right? That perhaps, yeah, mind blowing, right? It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm having this dream, but it's like, yeah, kind of the dreams originate from another source, right? Like, this is coming through me, but it's for you, right? It's coming through me, but it's like, it's for the benefit of somebody else. Okay, so it's like, okay, wow, whoa, it's a little bit mind blowing or possible. So just different perspectives. Sometimes there's, yeah, the social dreaming matrix. Wow, okay, ta-da. Okay, so wonderful. So thanks, Anne. You're so well read. Similar dream as a best friend before. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So it's yeah, and you can even see Amy P and Amanda B having similar dreams, right? Or no, sorry. I never mind. I was thinking that some people were having similar dreams in the chat, but Bethany, yeah, kind of people do that. Like when you're in sync, or you dream about somebody else, or something's happening to somebody else, that can potentially happen. It's almost like when you're with somebody, and if you're a mind body practitioner and you sense them, like you sense something in your body, and it's like, oh, that's happening in their body too, right? It could be a similar process, right? It's a, okay, yeah. Dreamed of a dragon. Okay, wow, similar dreams. Okay, so it's like, wow, okay. So let's do a little bit of um, a revisitation of dreams and trauma, right? And I think by this time you've probably remember or are familiar with all my little drawings, which I like to do, which is, okay, here we are, kind of, and sometimes we go past our window of tolerance, and that's trauma, right? And this is too much, too fast, too soon, right? Too much, right? Too fast, too soon, too soon. Okay. Too much, too fast, too soon. Okay. And our CYBAM, hopefully this is relatively review, like our continuity of experience, once we go past here, starts to fragment, right? Okay. And part of what we do as mind body practitioners is we try to listen to like a sensation fragment and bring it back into connection with the other parts, right? Now, in dreams, these different fragments, right? The idea, and we talked about this a little in the notion of the boardroom, right? There's the surfboard, right? Which is like, am I on the wave or not? Can I ride the wave up and down or not? Okay, I'm on my surfboard here. Up here, I get thrown off the surfboard. Like I get like, I'm all kerjumbled. I'm fragmented out. Okay, there's the surfboard. There's the keyboard, right? Keyboard, it's like, okay, parts of me get stuck, right? Maybe my emotional life gets, kind of stuck, or my sensory world, that note stops playing, or I can't feel happy, or I can't feel sad, right? So we want to see what's stuck on our keyboard. And then there's the boardroom, okay? Which is the idea that to heal, we want to treat each fragment with its own voice. All the members of the boardroom get to speak. Like each fragment kind of gets to have a voice at the table, again. And that's the path to healing, right? Ah, oh, I like that. The whiteboard and the blackboard. Okay. The whiteboard. I never thought of that before. And the blackboard and the blackboard. Okay. I like those ideas. Hmm. Um, well, on some level, maybe dreams are a certain version of um, kind of the characters of the dream. It's like the boardroom comes back in full force, right? All the characters of the dream, those are the fragments that are trying to somehow piece themselves back together. It's like, okay, that horrible monster, right? That seems so terrifying, right? Maybe that's like kind of a fragment of maybe a sensation, maybe an image, right? Right? That's saying, I want to come back home, right? I want to find connection again. I want to reconnect, right? That if we listen to that scary fragment, maybe we can let it land us back home. Okay. So, um, yeah, and so that's the hope or the promise of dreams. Okay, so different people. There's a lot of different traditions. There's a, I mean, it's in. Carl Jung had some work around this. Gestalt uses this. Some people call this their own like trademarked technique. There's a little video which I thought was pretty good. We'll give you this link, and let's go ahead and maybe we'll see if we can pull this video up for you. Oopsie. Okay, let's keep the doodles. Okay, and we'll pull up the link and then show you the video about one of the techniques that can be used to help people who might have nightmares, which is a classic symptom of PTSD. Let's see, let me make sure I got the sound set on this. So, okay, I think we're good. All right, so, all right, so this is somebody's, they calls it the dream completion technique, trademarked. but a lot of these, you know, they're all kind of come from the same source. All right, so here we go. Okay.
What I'm going to teach you over the next 5 minutes is a simple and practical technique to help solve the problem of nightmares and night terrors, which can include lashing out, shouting, and other sleep disturbances, any of which can lead to an intense fear of going to sleep. It's a technique that helps promote peaceful sleep, doesn't involve dredging up the past, and best of all is something that you can start doing yourself tonight. Since 2013, I've been using this tool to help people from all walks of life, including military veterans with PTSD. And I've seen many times how fixing the nightmares first unlocks a natural healing process that helps to resolve the impact of trauma from the inside out. Here's how it works. Even though we don't always remember our dreams, they happen every night. Under normal circumstances, dreaming acts like overnight therapy. As wacky and weird as they can be, they offer us the chance to work through difficult emotions and process our traumatic experiences from the safety of our beds, so that in the morning, we can start again fresh. Nightmares happen when that natural healing process gets interrupted, either because the brain runs out of new ideas and doesn't know how to move on, or because the dream becomes so intense it wakes us up. If this is happening to you, then I can tell you that you're not alone. Nightmares don't discriminate. They don't care how tough you are, smart you are, or what you do for a living. Around 1 in 20 people get them, and if you've experienced trauma, it's more like 9 out of 10, with the nightmare often feeling like a replay of the original trauma. The first thing I want you to remember is that you have power over your dreams and the kind of sleep you experience. Even if your nightmare is about something from real life, however awful, that event is in the past. What's happening in your sleep is just a dream. Most importantly, it's your dream. You're in charge. So it's okay for you to decide to change what happens, and there is nothing to fear in your dream. I want you to think about your most recent nightmare or your last bad sleep experience. You don't have to analyze what it means or relive the whole thing. Just think about the point when you woke up and what you'd want to have happen next in the dream that feels good. Take some time on this. What we are looking for is a new direction for the dream to take. Something brief and simple and just as powerful as the nightmare. Something to kickstart the dream, to remind your mind that it's okay to stay asleep through any dream. Or, if you don't remember your nightmares, something you could be doing that would help get rid of the unpleasant feeling or sensation you wake up with, so that all-important healing process can complete its work. Here is the second thing I want you to remember. Whilst they may feel very real to you, dreams don't follow the same rules as real life. So, your imagined solution doesn't need to be moral or peaceful, or something that could happen in reality. Perhaps your solution might be a way to gain complete power and control within the context of the dream, or it can be something that seems totally unrelated. It can violate the laws of physics, be surreal, or feature fictional characters. It can be violent, it can be pure fantasy, or even a little bit silly. You don't have to defend it or explain it to anyone, and if you find that it doesn't work for you right away, don't give up, because you can replace it the next night with something that will. Whatever new idea you decide to put on your dream shelf, it should ring true to you at a gut level, as something positive, something that is at least as strong as the worst part of your nightmare. Like a powerful memory from your past. The stronger the feeling, the more it will propel your idea into the dream. Write down your solution, and just before you go to sleep, read it, imagine it, and think, this is what I want to happen in my dream. It sounds simple, but there is a lot of evidence to show that it works, and that by starting tonight, you could see immediate improvements, or even have the best night's sleep you've had in a long, long time.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's the general shape of the process in a nutshell, right? That's the general shape of the process in a nutshell. On some level, by this time, some of these techniques should feel slightly familiar. Just the idea of, like in when we did the trauma class, there's this idea of completing the arousal cycle, right? There's like something where, okay, there's something that's stuck and we're trying to complete it, like physically, so basically the idea is, if we were to look at let's see, the old trauma kind of diagram that we had here, it would, let me just pull that up, right? So what we're doing, here we go. uh, what we're doing is completing the arousal cycle, right? So it's like, okay, there's some there's some dream fragment that's arisen, some kind of jaggedy, maybe scary, whatever it is, like kind of something. Maybe it's a tiger, right? This jaggedy, scary tiger, right? That's there, kind of like screaming or shouting, right? You know, and you know, but but maybe we can figure out, okay, and there's the me that's like the scared, right, kind of helpless kid, right? That's there. That's another fragment, right? But what we're doing is we're figuring out a way. Okay, well maybe we can just imagine a new ending. Maybe there's a way in which this tension, kind of the overwhelm, which is, you know, and I think um, when we wake up, like it's too intense. Waking up in the middle of a dream, a nightmare, something that's too much, too fast, too soon. But like if we can figure out how to complete that, okay, that tiger could actually be put in a cage. Okay, that's a little bit safer. And now we can transform it into kind of a pussy cat, right? And we can become friends with it. Ah, now we're not separate anymore. Now we're together again. Now there's a completion, right? And it becomes like, instead of an experience that's too intense for me to be with, I can complete it, and it naturally kind of reorganizes into a coherent narrative that isn't overwhelming, scary, or fragmented. It's just a Cybam, kind of, in a certain sense, just coming back, completing the arousal cycle, and landing me back into my window of tolerance. Okay, so that's all theoretical, but just connecting some dots. So let's see. So so let's do some practical kind of, how do we do this? How do we work with folks if they're a client coming in and they're open to dream work? If they had a dream, it's like, oh, I have this dream, because some people do have dreams. This is how you might work with it. And I'm taking this from Gestalt, which I think is very in keeping with a mind-body therapy approach. Okay, so the idea is each part of the dream represents different projected aspects of the personality. They're different fragments, basically. Each part of the dream is a different fragment. Okay, and oh yeah, all of this will be part of a handout that we'll give to you. So you'll have this on hand if you want, if you ever want to refer to it. Okay, so each part of the dream represents different projected aspects of the personality. And what we want to do is, okay, there's a tiger in my dream. Let's let myself identify with and explore all the parts of the dream. Right. Yeah. And thanks, Bethany, for dropping this into the chat. Okay. So what we're going to do is like, okay, there's a tiger. I don't want to see the tiger. Go away, tiger. Ah, yeah. You know, instead of doing that, we want to acknowledge the tiger, right? Uh, invite it in and almost like allow it to come with its message, right? Almost allowing it, embracing it, right? Here you are, welcome. Okay, tiger, what do you want to say? You want to say, get me out of here, or whatever it is. It's like, I'm scared, right? Or, so we instead of like, oh, tiger, go away. Okay, we let the tiger come in. We acknowledge it. We notice it. We listen to it. We allow ourselves to even kind of start to sense it and sense into it. Oh, the tiger is like, it's like, you don't listen to me, right? Or whatever. It's like, stop. Or like, and so it's kind of like IFS, or like the parts, like listening to the different parts of the dream. Okay, so so the idea is to not interpret the dreams. Don't say, oh, tiger means, um, I don't know, like, um, uh, danger, right? It might mean danger, but it's not because a book says it. It's like, okay, let yourself kind of enter into it, right? So the idea is, you, if a client comes to you with a dream, you don't say, oh, that's what it means. What you do is you support the clients in exploring the meaning of their own dreams. Okay, and there's different ways of doing it. Some people, like, oh, okay, maybe we could paint the dream. Okay, here's, yeah, I was like over here, there was that huge tiger, right? And there was me in the corner who was scared, running away, right? Sometimes retelling it, right, can be a way of doing it, enacting it, uh, or movement. Okay, so um, we'll do this step by step. Okay, so step one is, um, so invite the clients, okay, to, well, first, step zero, okay, step zero is, just have them tell you what I had a dream. Okay, what was it? So just let them tell the dream. Okay, okay. Well, I was kind of running around and there was this tiger and it was really scary. And then I was trying to get across the basketball court and there was a tiger I couldn't get across, but I needed to get across, but I was scared. It was really, really bad. Okay. So step zero is just have them tell the dream. And frequently they'll tell it in the past tense, right? So there was a tiger. I was trying to get across the basketball court, right? And but it was really scary and I didn't know what to do and I was stuck. Okay, so frequently they'll tell it in the past tense. Okay, so if they do that, um, and what you want to do is uh, invite them to tell the dream again, okay, in the present tense, right? Uh, you know, if it feels safe, and if it feels safe, have them imagine it as if it is happening now, right? So the prompt typically is, okay, step zero is like, yeah, do you have a dream you want to work on? Okay, yeah, tell me about the dream. Okay, so they'll tell you about it, but then so this is the telling about step. They'll tell about it, but the next step is really like tell, or not tell about, but speak from within the dream. Okay, from within the dream, like you enter it. Okay, so you from within the dream. So the idea is, could you tell the dream in the present tense, right, as if it's happening now? And there's a different feeling, right, to using the past tense versus the present tense. So it's like, oh yeah, the dream was like I was kind of on the basketball court and there was a tiger, right, and I was trying to get across. Okay, versus, okay, in the present tense, the way I would say it is like, okay, well, you mean like use present tense words? Yeah, present tense words. So like kind of, I am at the basketball court as if it's happening. Okay. And you want to kind of gauge to make sure they're not overwhelmed, but as long as kind of you remind them you're safe, you're with me, kind of we can kind of exit anytime, kind of, so just kind of be gentle with that. But okay, so I'm there, I'm at the basketball court and there's a tiger. There's a tiger to my right. Okay, so the idea is like you're just, and it doesn't look happy. It's like it's kind of growling. It's yeah, and it's I don't know. There's just a really uncomfortable feeling inside me. Okay. Okay, take a breath. Right. So you want to kind of resource and support them as they're doing it. But there's something about like speaking it into the present gives more entree into and with enough support, like moving around or kind of, it's like soaking into the felt sense a bit. Okay. Uh, uh, let's see. Oh, I just saw some questions. Amy, yeah, I don't know if everybody has nightmares. Maybe 1 in 20. I'm not sure. So we can try and maybe meant more frequently or reoccurring nightmares. I think that might be what it was, Bethany. Yeah, thanks, Bethany. So sorry. So yeah. So basically, um, so entering into the dream in the present tense as if it's happening now, and as you're listening, um, as the practitioner, the mind body therapy practitioner. Um, so just try and resonate with the dream, like they're describing the dream, and um, let them describe it to the point where you can feel like you're almost tasting a little bit or dipping into it a little bit with them, like kind of so the scene kind of unfolds to you as well, right? Okay. And then kind of find in the dream, typically there's a moment or a part of the dream that feels particularly kind of notable or attention worthy, that feels important. Yeah, there's the moment where I'm trying to cross the basketball court. I'm trying to cross the basketball court, and it's, and I see, oh, it's on a chain, but you know, but the chain is long enough that it can actually get me, right? Okay. So that feels like a significant part, right? Okay. So maybe find a significant part of the dream, and just flesh it out. So tell me more about that. Well, like the tiger's there, and it's like it's on the chain, and it's kind of pulling at the chain. I can see kind of the chain pulling at the neck, right? And you know, and what does that look like, or what does it sound like? Just trying to kind of dip them into it, right? A little bit, kind of sense. Okay, well, yeah, it's like there's that strain in between, right? The chain and the neck, right? And then you can invite. Well, how do you feel towards that tiger, right, or that green part, right? Well, I feel terrified. Like it's like get away, get away. It's like, oh, okay, so terrified. And then support dialogue between the different parts of the dream. And so what do you want to say to the tiger? It's like, get away, get away, get away. I'm not doing anything to you. Leave me alone, leave me alone, right? And so go ahead and let yourself see what it might be like to say that to the tiger. Oops, yeah, to the tiger. Okay, so yeah, go away, leave me alone. I'm scared. I didn't do anything to you. Stop, stop. You're scaring me. Okay. So for example, and then the invitation is invite the client to switch and become the different dream components. So in this case, the prompt might be, I'm wondering if you're open to switching roles and seeing what it might be like to become the, just say, tiger in this case. Okay. Ooh, okay. So let's just let myself imagine myself as the tiger. It's like, and as the tiger, okay, so what is, I feel, I see this person and I see them scared, and I feel this anger and rage at the world, and I can't stop myself, but I have this chain, but I can't stop myself. I can't stop myself. I see what's happening, but I can't stop myself. It's like I can't, and so I see, you know, and you could do the same. You could say, well, what do you have anything that you want to say, right? To the other person. It's like I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. Like there's this anger inside, but I can't stop myself. I'm sorry. This is who I am, right? Or whatever it might be, right? So so that could be an organic thing that happens, and on some level that might be a completion, right? I mean, because there's a million ways to complete the dream. Maybe the dream completes by me dodging the tiger and getting across the basketball court. Maybe the dream completes by me seeing the tiger as something that is fighting its own demons, right? That can't stop itself but cares and is heartbroken about what he's doing. And maybe that's a version of completion, right? It's like, okay, I didn't get across the basketball court, but I did see the tiger weep. And maybe I weep with it too, right? Maybe in that there's like some resolution. It's like, oh, I'm terrified. You're grief stricken, and we're not so far apart anymore, right? And maybe that's some version of completion, right? So, so the idea is to allow whatever could happen next to happen next. If a dream is incomplete, invite the dreamer to imagine what might happen next. If possible, allow or invite the completed action, like what happens next? What happens next? Okay. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So that was the. Okay. So let's actually let me give you a. Let's pause for a moment. That was. I jump to the next slide because we're gonna let you try if we have a chance. Um, but I also wanted to maybe kind of do a little. If anybody's interested, I don't know if anybody's interested in doing or being a demo, but or see what folks want to do. So we could do a demo if you want. We could let you jump into the breakout rooms and give it a shot yourself. What are people feeling like? Was there anybody who wanted to be a demo or to give it? Okay, so we did have somebody. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So yay. Okay, so great. We have a demo volunteer. So are people cool? Why don't we do a demo so you can see a little bit about kind of how this works? Okay. Yes. Thumbs up. Demos are helpful. And then, yeah, we'll hand it over to Bethany to bring the demo on. And yeah, great. Yay. Hey, Anna. Hey, thank you for volunteering. Yeah. Ah, yeah. So I'll just explain just to, kind of, what I think I described a little bit just as we did. But, if you're open to it, we'll do a little bit of dream work, right? And yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So the structure is we're going to invite you to maybe find a dream, and then you'll tell it to me, and then we'll kind of play around within the dream a little bit and see if there's anything that arises that wants to be spoken or understood or known from the dream. Okay.
All
Does
right.
that sound okay? Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I have a fresh one from last night. I
Oh.
in this like swampy water, and there was a crocodile or alligator. I don't know the difference. Coming around, and I kind of panic and run out of the water.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Crocodile, kind of swampy area. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Panic and run out. Okay. Wonderful. Perfect. 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 Okay. So I'm going to invite you, if you're open to it, just to kind of like taking a moment and almost allowing yourself. Right. 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 Ah, yeah. Take a moment just to land, and if do whatever, you just feel your feet on the ground, or even call upon kind of support or resources if you want, just to get yourself into comfortable space, right? And and if you're open to it, just allowing yourself to kind of allow that dream space to be kind of almost present again, right? As if you could return into that space, allowing yourself to re-enter that moment or those moments of the dream, remembering that I'm here, that you're okay, that you're safe right now. Right? Just allowing yourself to dip into the dream And when you kind of find yourself a little bit in it, just allowing yourself to speak the dream and speak it as if it's happening uh, in the present tense. So just even telling the dream or speaking the dream as if it's happening. So what do you notice? What do you see? What do you feel as the dream, as you enter the dream and allow it to presence itself? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like in this murky water, which I know I don't usually like, but I'm uh, found a way to be in it and do my thing. I'm moving around quite a bit, making waves,
Mhm.
like doing, just like I'm just like playing in the water.
Mm.
I see my husband and one of my kids kind of closer to the shore, and I'm just like, and then yeah, and so then I see the crocodile, which is weird because I don't know, like I'm visualizing my head's above water, but the water's murky, but somehow I can see underwater. And I like freeze, and my husband's like, just don't move. And there's actually other people in the water too, and everyone is frozen. And I'm watching the crocodile, and he's going to eat something, some vegetation. And I take that as my opportunity to run.
Mm.
So then I start to run to the shore in the water. I'm running in the water.
Mhm. Mhm.
And and I don't even know if I can make it because I don't even know if he'll continue to follow me after I get out of the water. But I make it. I'm I make it. I'm running and I make it to the shore and I just kind of collapse and the crocodile just looks at me from the edge of the water and turns around and goes back and everyone is still in the water frozen.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Just noticing, yeah, the feeling of that, right? Yeah. And there's kind of tears, right? Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of feeling here, right? Yeah. So there's so many different pieces or parts, right? There's the you, there's kind of your husband and family, right, at the shore, right? You know, kind of at first kind of playing or flopping, and then like there's the crocodile, murky water, but crocodile, and then other people frozen, right? And then getting away or running to the shore, but you don't know if you can get away, right? And kind of crocodiles chasing you. You don't know if it'll kind of chase you up to if you can actually get away or not. But then it comes up to the edge, sees you, right? Kind of and returns into the murky water, but there's everybody else frozen, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in this image, what feels like the most, I don't know, significant piece or part?
It's the moment that I make the decision to run.
Mm. the moment you make the decision to run.
Yeah. I'm deciding I can't be frozen anymore.
Yeah, I can't be frozen. Yeah. Just feel that, like I can't be frozen anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and just let yourself, yes, feel that, and is just that sentence. I can't be frozen. And is there, are you? Is that a thing that you're saying to yourself? Is that a thing that you're saying to kind of, can't be frozen anymore?
It's conflicting because I'm saying it to myself, and I kind of also want to shout it out into to the people in the water.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, maybe they have it figured out because they've figured out how to just continue to survive with the danger.
Right. Okay. So it's like both, right? Yeah. To yourself, right? And maybe kind of the confusion when you see them, like maybe they're just like okay with it. This whole sort of, they've figured out how to survive. Okay. So yeah, but at least in you, there's a part that's like, I can't be frozen anymore. I can't be frozen anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's let yourself feel that moment of I can't be frozen anymore. I can't be frozen anymore. Right? And just let yourself feel your body and let yourself allow yourself to, I can't be frozen anymore. And even just let yourself feel that impulse to run. Right? Yeah, and you can even just allow your body. Yeah, you can bounce a little. Yeah, can't be frozen anymore. Like there's the crocodile, right? You see, kind of, right? It's murky, but you can somehow see it. But I can't be frozen anymore. I can't be frozen anymore. I'm going to invite you. Yeah, go ahead and allow your body to move however it wants to move, your breath right with you. Yeah, just allowing that.
I'm really feeling the urge to punch.
Yeah, so go ahead and allow yourself. You can punch. You can feel that punch. Okay. Yeah, punch. Yeah. And if there's sound that you want to make, it's okay to make where you're at. Yeah, you can punch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, good breath. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Ah. Yeah, so moving, and I can't be frozen anymore. The punching, and then it feels like there's like a wave pass through a little bit. The punch, and then a wave pass through. Right? Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah, so there you are, kind of moving. Yeah, and then and if you were even in the dream in this kind of state, where would you imagine yourself in that world right now? Are you on shore right now after having unfrozen punched your way through, or what?
Yeah, I'm kind of standing at the shore, and I'm like seeing this like beautiful like not pasture, but like beautiful grasslands. Prairie maybe is the right word, and I'm like, hey everybody, look at over here. You don't have to stand frozen in the water, you can like frolic over here.
Yeah. So notice the prairie and the grassland. It's like, hey everybody, right? Yeah, you can come over here. You can frolic over here. Just so notice what that's like, just to see the prairie and kind of that. And there's also another wave of something. There's some feeling, right? Yeah, what's there? What's there? Yeah.
Just feels so good, like freedom.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, just feel that freedom. Hand on your heart. Yeah, freedom. It feels good, freedom. Just letting yourself feel that in your body, the feeling of freedom in your body. Just breathing that in. Yeah, freedom. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, sensing that. Yeah, and letting that energy be present, letting your hands be a guide to that sense also, the freedom.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, okay. Yeah, freedom. Beautiful, beautiful. This
Mm.
is what freedom might feel like, taste like. Yeah, great, great, great. Okay. Wow, wow. Okay. So, is this an okay place for us to slowly come to a landing spot?
This is a
Yeah.
fantastic place.
Okay, wonderful. So just let yourself, yeah, bask in that freedom. Yeah, right. Just landing here. Good, good, good. Okay. Yeah,
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anna. So appreciate you. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, thanks. Okay. So we'll take you off the spotlight. Okay. And yeah, and come back into the larger space. Yeah, welcome back if you want. You don't have to put your cameras on. You're welcome to if you like. But yeah, just noticing, people commenting in the space. Just thank you, their gratitude, to you, Anna, for lending your depth of soul and your heart. Right. Thank you, hearts, hearts, hearts. Thank you, beautiful, amazing to witness. Thank you, gorgeous. Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So just kind of, yeah, also absorbing that. Thank you for sharing amazing and powerful, beautiful, right? Beautiful, great demo, right? Yeah. So there's a, yeah. So just letting that kind of settle into the space, right? And so, this, I'll invite, I guess, first, and if it's okay with you, Anna, I'll invite like what I call channel one feedback, which is like anything inside you, those of you who held space or witnessed that got touched inside you. So this isn't about analyzing the dream or kind of anything like that, but anything that got moved inside you in your heart or your experience. It might just be a sensation that you felt, or something, or even or you could also do an echo, right? An echo is just like a certain moment during the demo that you just noticed and almost want to reflect or mirror back, right? Kind of as an echo, like just like it could be maybe a phrase that you heard, or kind of a moment that felt, kind of like something felt significant for you. So opening the space for channel one, which is like things that got moved inside you in terms of your process, or echoes, which is anything that kind of, yeah, landed in, kind of a phrase or a moment that kind of stood out for you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, when you saw her tears, you felt her frozenness and the fear of making the decision to run and save herself. It brought tears to you too. So you felt tears also when you saw Anna's tears, right? Yeah, you felt the frozenness, the fear of making the decision and run and save herself. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, the part where, yeah, she was tired of being frozen. I'm tired of being frozen. Yeah, right, great. I felt a sensation in my chest, right? When Anna said that the people were still frozen. Yeah, that was a moment too. I felt, yeah, I can, yeah, it was a heart clenching. So that's another like other aspect to the dream, right? There are people still frozen. I hear you. Yeah, definitely related to her statement about just wanting to become unfrozen. Yeah, yeah. An image of the murky water being a sea of the people's tears. Wow. Whew, that's deep. Yeah. The light and the expansiveness of the prairie, wanting to share that with all. Yeah, great. Great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. So there's, you know, so on some level, there's the way in which there's so many ways in which the dream occurs, but it like there's the ways in which we intersect within it, right? The dream is done maybe on behalf of many of us, right? Heather says anxiousness when she looked back at the water. Yes, back in the water and saw people frozen, right? Yeah, I was afraid she was going to go back because that's what she was used to. I, yeah, thank you, Heather. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just so noticing your own anxiousness and, and is she going to go? That was one of like, there's certain parts that get complete and there's also layers, right, of things that are maybe still to be unfolded or, people can work the same dream like for weeks on end as in terms of session work, right? So you can go back and revisit dreams too. Okay, so okay, so wonderful. So now, if you're open to it, Anna, I'm going to open the discussion to what we call channel 2, which is questions about technique or choices that I made during the session. So are you open to kind of that, Anna? Like, it's not going to be directed to you, but it'll be directed to me, but it's about technique. Okay, sure, great. Okay, so if anybody has any channel 2 questions, which is questions about technique or how I worked or how to work, I just want to open the space for that. Yeah, so maybe you don't, maybe it was pretty clear, but yeah, any open space for questions. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Wang, I do have a question. I'm Lydia. My internet is going on and off, so I'm just gonna
Okay. Totally fine.
in wacko. So my question is once you had her in a place of feeling really good about reaching shore and being expansive, and then was that your decision to not go back and have her explore the other?
Yeah. So some of it's time frame, right, and landing spot, and that could have been another, like, if you wanted to be kind of, yeah, yeah. So typically you want to land at a resource state. That's kind of like, okay, safe for landing, we can land, right? And it was enough, right? It was enough to kind of, okay, the moment of escape, okay, that can be a certain version of completion and experience and all of that. And it felt like it was kind of the dream kind of guided there, but it felt like it was felt at a deeper level on some level. So yeah, it felt like, okay, don't want to be greedy in terms of trying to do too much, right?
I mean,
yeah.
In another session,
100%
follow up maybe on like what would you, if thinking back, what would it feel like to be the alligator?
Oh yeah, you could totally, you could totally allow that, right? You could invite that. You typically want to follow where the person, or where the lender, the dreamer, was leading. Like, if the crocodile was the biggest figure, right, then okay, that's or if the people who are frozen were the biggest figure, right, then go with that. What do you feel towards them, right? Or what do you want to say to them? Or what would even just allowing yourself to say that, and then switching and imagining being them, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of noticing and inviting, okay, where's the prominent kind of figure, the most kind of where the most energy is, like in, kind of, and okay, that completed. There was the moment of, I can't be frozen anymore. Okay, that's the moment. Okay, then that kind of naturally completes. Now, where's the next significant or most significant kind of figure or moment, right? Or,
Yeah.
okay, and then you work that, right? And then that might complete, right? And then, and what's next? Okay, so you kind of like work sequentially, yeah.
And then the second question I had was, you noticed and you verbalized her being teary-eyed.
Mhm.
Would it be too invasive to ask where those tears were coming from? Or do you just assume where they're coming from?
That's a good.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think you could totally do that. That's a legitimate. There's many ways to do that. So the question, like, and I think, and I'm not perfect myself, right? Like, but yeah, I think a question about if a person feels kind of deep in the tears, sometimes something like, and if the tears had words or voice, like what might they say, right?
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good. I
so that,
like that.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it's kind of, so, but I think those are, there's many ways to play it, but yeah,
Okay.
good
Thank
questions.
you.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, sure. Um, so there's some question in the chat, and I also saw Anne, you had your hand up. So we'll just take a couple more, and I want to give you your community time as well. So, what if it's difficult for the client to find something that feels like completing the cycle? I understand, because that's not always kind of the easiest, right? Um, Sometimes you can even just inviting them to imagine you with them, right? That can be helpful, right? Just like, okay, we don't know where to go, but just maybe even just imagining that somebody is with you seeing this, right? That gives a little bit of support, right? You know, um, Sometimes it's just allowing them to notice what is, and even like, ah, I even just coming to the sentence like uh, like like I don't know what to do right now, right? Okay, and that's just the truth. But I can be with that a little bit more. Like there's a deepening capacity to be with the experience, even if it doesn't complete, right? So it's like, okay, here you are in maybe they're in a frozen spot. Okay, so let's just feel the frozen and be with that, and feel your breath and feel me with you in the frozen. Okay, and just continue to notice, right? The idea is that if we allow ourselves to be with or notice, right, eventually, like in the listening, and it might be a micro movement, but something as you deepen, right, there comes the felt shift. Okay, so at least that would be my thoughts on that, Jessica. Is that helpful? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sandy, when she was punched, yeah, no worries, my pleasure. Yeah, I saw you typing, so I wanted, before. Okay, so when she was punching, I wondered if she could punch the crock. You just let her continue with the movement and didn't mention anything and let her decide what to do next. That went really well. The prairie was unexpected. Yeah, the punching was an interesting moment, right? Because there was the punching, and if the punching had continued, right, I would have kind of followed that, but it seemed like the punching happened and then kind of there was it like it was a wave, but then it kind of, I didn't want to re-grab the punching from like 10 seconds ago, because 10 seconds later, like the punching kind of paused for a moment. It would totally be a legitimate choice, right? you know uh um yeah, but I was having a similar intuitive sense. So you're following that well, Sandy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See you, Anne. Always good to have you in the space. All right. So, okay. Want to be respectful of time. But this was such a lovely experience to share with you and to see folks again. And now I think you have community time. I'll leave it to Bethany to run that. And so lovely to see you all. Lots of hearts, lots of love, and you take good care. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Bye.